3 years back, our dear planet Earth experienced a mind-boggling cataclysm, causing animals and plants to transform and evolve in the wildest and most inexplicable ways. As if that wasn't enough, human civilization took a massive blow, leaving countless casualties in its wake. But fear not, for the world's very survival and the pursuit of everlasting peace prompted humans to awaken a peculiar ability: monster control. Yep, you heard it right. Now, picture a regular high school student, our hero Galpung, who tragically lost his parents during this cataclysm. But hey, he's not alone in this chaotic world. In fact, he has a stunning and enigmatic beauty watching over him, and to top it off, he even stumbled upon a mysterious system. When it comes to taming and raising monsters, this guy reigns supreme. Our young protagonist, at the tender age of 18, a student at Chang and 3rd Senior High School, dreamt of becoming the Imperial Ambassador. Little did he know that his adventure was about to kick into overdrive. So there he was, walking home, pondering the oddity of those strange interfaces he kept seeing. He dismissed them as stress-induced hallucinations. But hold up. As Galping swung open the gate to his apartment and began ascending the stairs, reality hit him like a ton of bricks. That virtual screen displayed a creature known as the Grey Disc Spider, a level 3 monstrosity with a healthy disposition and quite the irritable temperament. And get this, its weakness? Flames. Now, Galping distinctly recalled his dear Grandma Chan and his teacher Murang mentioning how gentle these grey disc spiders were. Something was definitely not right. Without wasting a second, Galping sprinted up the stairs, desperately calling out for Grandma Chan, well aware that her spider had developed a taste for human flesh. With lightning reflexes, he managed to narrowly evade the spider's vicious attack. But this was no time for leisurely strolls. Galping had to keep moving, dodging the spider's relentless pursuit as he raced onward. In a classic moment of horror movie suspense, Galping dared to glance over his shoulder only to find that the spider had closed the distance between them. Panic surged through his veins, but amidst the chaos, a flicker of brilliance lit up his mind. The spider was weak against flames. Thinking quickly, he whipped out a lighter and hurled it at the 8-legged menace. Flames engulfed the creature, causing it to crumble to the ground. Victory, right? Wrong. Turns out, Galping's flame was more of a flicker, and the spider, seething with anger, rose back up, fixating its gaze on him. Realizing that retreat was the best option, Galping's feet took off like lightning as he raced toward his home, knowing that Big Purple, his trusty companion, awaited him. One more floor, just one more, and he'd be safe. But fate had other plans. The spider, relentless in its pursuit, lunged at Galpung, ready to sink its fangs into him. It was a do-or-die moment. Summoning all his courage, Galping screamed for Big Purple, and like a superhero bursting onto the scene, the door to his room swung open, revealing the formidable purple powerhouse. Big Purple pounced on the spider, striking fear into its arachnid heart. Galping taunted the spider, asking if it still wanted to play with Big Purple in its corner. Clearly rattled, the spider scurried up the ceiling and made a swift escape. Breathing a sigh of relief, Galping thanked his lucky stars for the fleet-footed nature of the spider. But just as he thought the danger had passed, Big Purple chimed in, expressing her hunger and questioning why Galping had taken so long. Starvation was apparently looming over her. Monsters, as it turned out, had two distinct forms, combat and non-combat. In their non-combat state, they reduced in size to conserve energy and gradually healed minor injuries. Plus, thanks to the bond between owner and monster, telepathic communication was possible. Galping's particular monster companion, Daisies, enjoyed a pat on the head as he promised to cook her a meal. Navigating his way to the kitchen, Galping instructed Daisies to place his bag on the cabinet. With culinary prowess ready to be showcased, Galping skillfully chopped meat and gathered ingredients, preparing a nutrition-packed dinner. The tantalizing aroma wafted through the air, causing Daisies to salivate. Galping reminded her to savor each bite, then took a moment to check her data. Daisies, the purple-backed yellow-clawed centipede, stood at level 7, with Een and Poison as her attributes. She was healthy and content, but Thunder and Flames posed as her Achilles heel. A sudden realization struck Galping. Daisy's had undergone an upgrade from a normal quality monster to an elite quality one. And if she could ascend to elite quality, who's to say she couldn't reach perfect quality? That would break through the legendary barrier and elevate her to a leadership rank. The potential was staggering, and Galping's mind whirled with thoughts of the incredible possibilities that lay ahead. With determination in his eyes, Galping embraced Dazai tightly, vowing to elevate her to the prestigious status of elite quality. The centipede couldn't help but wear a confused expression at this unexpected turn of events. Galping swiftly tapped into the system's quality requirements and discovered that he needed 10 pieces of Yin Shenzhen, 1 piece of thunder wood, and 1 piece of thunder crystal core. Changing grass and lightning wood were easily attainable with a little monetary investment, but the elusive thunder crystal core posed a challenge. The common 5 crystal core alone cost a hefty 8 credits. Galping cringed at the price tag, considering it rather steep. Recalling the establishment of the New World Alliance and the adoption of credits as the universal currency, Galping's virtual screen was promptly shut. Credits became the premium currency, with 10,000 affiliate coins exchanging for a single credit point. His parents' accident had prompted the state to grant them a 20-credit pension, of which he still possessed 11 credits. It was just barely enough to acquire the necessary materials for Dazai's upgrade. Galping gazed at his companion and realized that his credits would be solely devoted to Dazai, leaving him in a tight spot for the foreseeable future. Dazai finished her meal, but her insatiable hunger persisted. She pleaded with Galping for more food, to which he reminded her that she was, in fact, a centipede. Before he could finish his explanation, Dazai interrupted him with a resounding cry of hunger. Surrendering to her demands, Galping filled another bowl, watching as she devoured it. He pondered the emptiness of his promotion plan, given his lack of funds to acquire the remaining materials. That's when a brilliant idea struck him, becoming a monster trainer. If the system's information proved accurate, Galping reasoned, the life of a monster trainer could bring him boundless wealth. The memory of his teacher mentioning an upcoming monster trainer exam echoed in his mind. The exam would take place tomorrow, and interested students were encouraged to attend with their parents. In a frenzy, Galping grabbed his phone, fearing the registration period might be drawing to a close. Opening the app, he discovered a mere 3 minutes remained before the deadline. Hastily, he tapped yes to apply for the monster trainer exam, only to be met with a busy system that demanded his patience. Luckily, his registration was ultimately successful, filling him with joy as he looked forward to what the next day would bring. With determination fueling his actions, Galping marched over to his neighbor's door and timidly greeted Tang Tang, who answered with a sleepy-eyed, "Good morning." With the forthcoming monster trainer exam on his mind, Galping requested that Tang Tang care for Dazai for a few days. Tang Tang gladly agreed to his plea, and Galping expressed his gratitude, knowing he could now focus on the exam without worry. With a promise to treat her to dinner upon his return, he bid Tang Tang farewell and set off. Tang Tang's gaze drifted to Dazai, a look of disdain crossing her face. Observing Dazai's ordinary qualifications and finding her less than adorable, she couldn't help but wonder how Galping ended up entangled with such an unlucky companion. Dazai's anger flared, but Tang Tang soothed her with a gentle pat on the head, remarking that the old man would be livid when he found out. As they entered the room, Tang Tang wasted no time in summoning the old man. With a tinge of anger in his voice, the old man demanded Tang Tang to speak with Galping. Tang Tang, feeling exasperated, asked the old man how she could possibly persuade Galping when he was just as stubborn as he was. She pointed out that on the surface, Galping seemed indifferent to everything, but deep down, he possessed the tenacity of an ox. Furthermore, Dazai had been left behind by his own daughter and son-in-law, which only added to the complexity of the situation. Trying to change the topic, Tang Tang inquired about the old man's business affairs. She shared how they eliminated all the disobedient people and replaced them with obedient ones. Her eyes glanced towards Galping through the window, assuring the old man that as long as she was with him, he would be safe. With that, she hung up, leaving the old man to his thoughts. Meanwhile, at the company, the chairman summoned his secretary and instructed her to convey a message to the lab. They had only 5 months to complete their work, or they would cease to exist. Swinging his hand dismissively, he gestured for the secretary to leave. She obediently agreed, vowing to carry out his orders. The chairman glanced at his phone and muttered, "Galpeng, within a year, everything will be resolved, and then I will come to meet you. No one will be able to harm you." At the Chang'an City Monster Division, a crowd had gathered, eagerly waiting to enter. Galpeng remarked to himself how monster trainers were the hot commodity of the moment, considering the large number of people present. Suddenly, a familiar voice called out his name. Turning around, he saw Lisgong beckoning him over. Galpeng approached Lisgong and noticed that he was accompanied by his sister, Lai Hongdu, and their mother, Zhang Hong. Greeting them, Galpeng learned that they were all there to take the exam, with Lisgong adding that his sister had attempted it 3 times already, albeit unsuccessfully. This provoked an angry response from Lai Hongdu, who promptly smacked Lisgong on the back. Interrupting the tension, Galpeng mentioned that he, too, was there to take the exam, which left everyone shocked. Zhang Hong placed her hand on his shoulder and encouraged him, stating that young people should be ambitious, and perhaps he could become the youngest monster trainer in Chang'an. Galpeng smiled modestly in response, stating that he was not as talented as Zhang Hong claimed, and he was merely trying his luck. Just then, a mocking voice chimed in, questioning if Zhang Hong was referring to the youngest monster trainer in Chang'an City. The person continued in a sneering tone, questioning when the threshold for monster trainers had become so low that even a dog or a cat could participate. This remark enraged Lisgong, but Lai Hongdu quickly restrained him, preventing a confrontation. As the man ridiculed Galpeng's aspiration to become a trainer, Galpeng cleverly fired back, stating that if talking alone could make someone a trainer, then the man himself must already be a seasoned expert. This snappy remark infuriated the man, who angrily shouted a warning at Galpeng. Zhang Hong interjected, introducing the man as Wang Shu, the son of the influential Wang Group. Wang Shu had failed the monster trainer's exam 4 times in a row, adding a touch of irony to his mocking demeanor. Just as the tension escalated, the building's doors swung open, revealing a guard escorting Feng Zhu, the chief examiner of the Chang'an Monster Trainers Division. Feng Zhu announced the commencement of the exam and requested everyone to enter the building in an orderly manner. Once inside, Feng Zhu extended a warm welcome and explained that the exam consisted of 2 parts, the literary test and the martial arts test. Feng Zhu wasted no time in initiating the examination process. He informed the participants that the first test was a written exam, wherein 3 videos would be shown on a large screen. Their task was to accurately describe the monsters depicted in the videos. Without further ado, the examination began. The big screen illuminated, displaying a graceful dolphin swimming underwater before swiftly breaching the surface. The video concluded abruptly, leaving the examiners shocked. Feng Zhu clarified that it was the first video, and the candidates had 20 minutes to formulate their answers. Panic swept through the room as the examiners struggled to identify the monster within such a short time frame. To restore order, Feng Zhu sternly warned that any further noise or attempts at cheating would lead to immediate expulsion from the examination room, effectively silencing everyone. Meanwhile, Wang Shu contemplated the difficulty of this year's literary test compared to previous years. However, he felt smug as he possessed the exam questions in advance. His attention then turned to Galpeng, who wore a mischievous smile. Wang Shu assumed that Galpeng was merely putting on an act. Amidst the tension, Galpeng was secretly elated. He analyzed the data of the dolphin named Storm Dolphin, which he had quickly glimpsed on his exam paper. According to the information, the Storm Dolphin enjoyed soothing music, sunbathing, and feasting on various fish and shrimp. Additionally, it feared attacks with the dark attribute and detested disruptive sound waves. The second video unfolded, revealing a lush forest where a gorilla deftly plucked a banana from a tree. Startled by the presence of the videographer, the gorilla flung a banana in their direction and swiftly concealed itself behind the foliage. Galpeng identified the gorilla as the mighty gorilla, noting its fondness for climbing trees and devouring bananas. With a mischievous grin, Galpeng jotted down the data of the impatient and easily angered gorilla, who also happened to fear attacks from poisonous monsters. Meanwhile, the last video showcased a mantis on the forest floor, only to leap into the trees upon spotting the videographer. Galpeng identified the mantis as the scythe mantis, known for its courage and strength in battle. This carnivorous creature had a voracious appetite for all kinds of insects but held a deep fear of fire and flame attacks. Satisfied with his knowledge, Galping confidently completed his paper. As time ran out, Fengzhu announced that the papers would be collected. The other examiners collected all the papers, saving Galping's for last. They informed him to wait in the building for the test results. An hour later, Fengzhu held the papers in his hand, ready to announce the examination results and the list of qualified candidates. He called the names of Zhang Hong, Wang Shu, and the others, congratulating them on passing the test despite making some mistakes. Fengzhu wished them luck in the upcoming martial arts exam. Wang Shu, in a mocking tone, asked Galping why he hadn't passed the test. Galping remained silent, wondering if there had been a mistake in the data provided by the system. Just then, Fengzhu inquired about Galping's identity, and Galping promptly stood up, raising his hand. Fengzhu expressed surprise at the fact that the candidate who achieved a perfect score on the test was so young. He commended Galping, remarking that heroes often emerged at a young age, which left everyone in the room stunned. Galping glanced at Wang Shu, sarcastically apologizing for not meeting his expectations despite acing the exam. Fengzhu led the successful examinees to another section of the building, where they were welcomed to the second part of the exam, the martial arts test. He explained that this test was straightforward. There were monsters provided by the association in the room, and their task was to improve the quality of the monsters within a week. The association would cover all the materials consumed during the evaluation. However, if they failed to enhance the quality, they would have to pay the market price. Additionally, exceeding the specified amount of materials would result in failure, which raised concerns for Galping and the others. With a clap of his hands, Fengzhu signaled the entrance of Li Jin, the supervisor of the Chang'an Monster Division, who held a red box. Li Jin instructed everyone to take a card from the box, determining their assigned rooms for the exam. One by one, everyone lined up to grab their cards from the box. Galping, waiting in line, pondered the unpredictable nature of the selection process. It seemed impossible to know what kind of monster he would encounter. No wonder they said the monster trainer's certificate was one of the most challenging to obtain. Meanwhile, Wang Shu cast a glance at Galping, secretly hoping to bring him down later. As Galping reached for his card, he silently wished for a favorable draw. Upon finishing, he walked past Li Jin, who wore a mocking smile. Zhang Hong approached Galping and cheerfully shared that she had drawn room number 6, eagerly inquiring about Galping's card. Galping sighed and revealed that he had drawn room number 10. Once everyone had their room cards, Fengzi instructed them to find their designated rooms based on the cards they had drawn. He announced the official commencement of the martial arts examination. Galping arrived at his room and met the room's supervisor, Juyun. As Juyun opened the door, Galping's nervousness grew, wondering what awaited him behind it. To his surprise, he discovered an ape monster confined in a cage. Galping noticed the monster's negative status and pre-abolished condition. Curiously, Galping asked Juyun about the ape's condition. Juyun explained that the Red River ape had accumulated excessive waste and conflicting energy due to numerous experiments. He shared that the apes should have been eliminated, but there were no more monsters left in the association for him to train. Before the examination, Juyun had inquired with Li Jin about including the ape in the assessment list, to which Li Jin dismissively responded, assuring him not to worry and hinting at having her own agenda. Li Jin even called Wang Shu to confirm that their plan was in motion, ensuring that Galping would not pass the martial arts test. Juyun expressed that the ape had managed to survive solely through its perseverance but had a slim chance of being promoted. He offered to help Galping apply and preserve his perfect score from the written exam, allowing him to take the martial arts exam another time. Da Pang glanced at the ape, contemplating the situation. Grateful for Juyun's kind offer, Galping thanked him but ultimately decided to continue with the exam. Juyun agreed and left the room. Galjing stood before the fearful ape, reaching out to pet its head gently. With determination in his voice, he assured the ape not to worry because he would undoubtedly help it evolve. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, consider watching another. Until next time.